Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. Just setting up a little bit differently just because, I don't know, the shot just seems kind of cinematic, kind of nice. I don't know. I'm also just being lazy. Just to put into perspective, just an update on the move. Literally yesterday we got our truck in and we just brought everything in. Um, so my room is getting set up. You can see my TV is mounted to the wall. So, everything's getting kind of set up here. It's still a little bit of a mess, so I'm just still unpacking a few things. Literally, guys, I think after we were done unpacking everything or unloading everything, my bad, um, I think it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. Or no, sorry, it was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Um, and I literally went to my bed, crashed, and woke up around 7 o'clock in the morning. So that's how tired I was, guys. So, um, yeah. So, because it's been like 4 or 5 days of just constant moving, bringing stuff from the house, but going back and forth, stress super high. So, thankfully, all the big stuff is finally here, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. And I could finally also do a video because I didn't want to do a video when I was super stressed. Um, so I want to do this video though because this one's actually timely and also um, just an interesting topic to discuss because I don't know if we have discussed it before. And that is the idea of de-aging, a new visual technique, a new visual idea that's being implemented um, into a lot of mainstream films. I mean, I think like the earliest example of one that I can think of as of late was probably Civil War, the Marvel film with Robert Downey Jr. in that one sequence where he was a little bit younger. Um, and then I think they did it again with Captain Marvel, with like Samuel L. Jackson and stuff like that. Star Wars did it with Rogue One. Um, and the two notable examples that I want to talk about are The Irishman, which had pretty much had a whole film dedicated to that sort of technique, and then the upcoming Indiana Jones film, which just had its premiere at Cannes, and I found out it's actually Cannes, not Cannes, so Cannes. Um, and we already did a video on the Indiana Jones film. You guys probably know my thoughts on it. Just don't really see it as an Indiana Jones film. Um, it's it just doesn't have the Spielbergian, feel to it, and really that's what makes Indiana Jones Indiana Jones. I mean, Harrison Ford obviously has his part to play, but Spielberg is really the essence to those films. His charisma and his sense of wonder, just the way that he portrays adventure is just something that is so distinct that I just think that James Mangold, who I like as a director, he did Logan, which I actually think is one of the better superhero films out there. Um, and I thought Ford v Ferrari was fine, but I don't know, his style and his sensibilities I just don't feel would match that of an Indiana Jones film. And from what I'm hearing from Cannes, my fears are kind of coming true. So, but we'll see. Um, but in the Indiana Jones film, supposedly there's a 20 minutes like sequence in the opening where Harrison Ford is actually going to be DH. So he's going to be like 35 years younger or something like that. So really, really young. Um, and there are some pictures out there. I've seen some of the pictures, of him looking DH'd. And for lack of a better word, it just looks super creepy. I mean, like, not creepy in the like, oh my God, it looks so real. Like, it just looks so unsettling. Like, there's just something really disgusting about it and something really disturbing about it. Um, because as the viewer, you understand that that is makeup because people use that term. It's just another layer of makeup, and it is. I mean, it's by design and how it's being used. Yeah, it is a form of makeup, um, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it is a benefit. What it is, really, to me anyway, is that it is a cheat, and it's just really, a really disturbing in a really scary way of bringing back, old younger versions of this of the performer and stuff like that. We've been like there's been discussions about this before, specifically with like AI. There's a huge discussion going on with AI and how we might implement it in the future. Um, there's also been attempts in the past. Remember the whole I believe it was James Dean. Remember that whole James Dean thing that they're gonna do? Basically bringing him back from the dead and having him star in a film and stuff like that. Like really, really gross stuff. And it just seems like with the implicate no not implication the just the usage of de-aging, it seems like almost a tease, almost uh, a a murmur, kind of like a pointing in that direction sort of thing, where it seems like we are headed towards that direction again of bringing back actors from the dead with the usage of VFX and AI technology. Like it just seems it just seems really gross to me. It also seems like a huge cheat. Like, I mean, use what you have. Like, don't just, like if you're gonna use makeup, I don't mind like prosthetics and stuff like that, as long as it enhances a performance or VFX. Like one of my favorite performances from the 2010s, that it just still kind of resonates with me a lot. I know it's a mainstream film, but for me, it's a great example where they're using VFX to elevate a performance. Is Andy Serkis in the Planet of the Apes films? I think that performance is great. I think that he brings so much to it, and the makeup that he's using, the VFX that he is surrounded by, enhances the performance, not takes away from that performance, and it actually deepens the visual uh, per- idea of Caesar. Um, and yeah, I'm not also blind. VFX artists also do enhance performances as well. They sometimes maybe make the smiles bigger and stuff like that. I get it, and those types of tactics I don't like. Like just use whatever the performance is and then just slap on the makeup. I'd rather have that be that versus what I've seen VFX artists do, where they actually make the performances literally better. Like that to me is just again a cheat. Um, but I I presume, because I don't know, I didn't, I'm not in the room, but I presume that they kept Andy Serkis's performance intact and then just put on the makeup of Caesar. And if that is the case, I mean, again, that is an example of something um, that where VFX is being used to help, strength elevate that performance and deepen that performance. Because you have Andy Serkis who's doing what he's doing, and then you have VFX that are then helping that performance and not leading said performance. If that makes any sense. So I don't want the VFX to lead the performance. I want the performer to lead its own performance. So when you're having to now de-age them, it's very distracting to me. Like I just like The Irishman for me is an example where it just it was 50-50 because there were times where it felt okay, but times where it felt okay is because they got older and it settled more. The VFX were more subtle, and that's also because the actors themselves are older. So I'm not that distracted by all these like clean foreheads and stuff like that. These like clean foreheads with still the lines right there, but it's like almost someone just went, what I mean, just erased it and not actually do polished work. But again, all experimental. So, um, but again, it's a case where the VFX are taking away from a performance and not helping the performance. And uh, and like just like when they're like super super young, you know what I mean? Like it's just because also in that type of context where somebody has to play a younger version of themselves, it's impossible considering their current age. Like in The Irishman, for example, everyone knows that scene where Robert De Niro, goes into a store and he beats the hell out of someone, and he's supposedly in his what 30s. So, and you see how he's handling him. It's not the demeanor and the attitude and the physicality of a young guy. It is the physicality of someone in their 60s or their 70s, a much, much older person. So, it's that it's that contrast that, like, oh, okay, like, yeah, he's actually a lot older. It takes you out of that mindset of, oh, well, you know, he is actually a lot older than what he's portraying, um so it's stuff like that where I then question, like, why do we need this? If the actor cannot portray that of a younger person quite physically, it just seems kind of useless to then be slapping all this the effects on them, just for us, just for that headshot. I don't see the purpose for it, you know. And in the case of Indiana Jones, I get it. I mean, they want to pay homage, to the other films by having Indy in a more younger setting. But again, if I'm going to see Harrison Ford running around, and if he's running around like a 60 or 70-year-old man, then to me, like, that it just makes the idea just pointless to me. Like, just have Harrison Ford looking like Harrison Ford. Don't make him look like someone like he was in the 80s or 70s. I don't need to see that if he is going to be acting, or physically acting the way he is today, all 60s and 70s, all stiff. I prefer to just see that. You know, so, and like I said, just the implications, like, just what this stuff can lead to, like, yeah, I am not really, for what this could become. That's my big fear of what de-aging could form into. Again, it could lead into bigger discussions about artificial intelligence, implementing them into productions. We're already having those discussions now, and I'm not for using artificial intelligence in productions. I feel like that's just taking away creativity and more or less becoming much more to my fear of factory work, you know, being expanded, because mainstream culture is all about factory work. So, I'm pretty sure Disney is all it's gonna be all about AIs and stuff like that. But, like, I just don't see the room for that, and I don't see the room for de-aging. I don't see where you need to de-age someone. I like, if your reason is for nostalgia, or you just want to be all artsy fartsy, or just want to be all technical and try out new things. I just don't see, creatively speaking, where that needs to occur, because most times where de-aging happens, it's just distracting, it's glaring. I mean, look at Princess Leia in Rogue One. Like, when that happened, everybody went, oh, okay. No one went, oh, that's Princess Leia. They went, oh, like, they're like, oh, okay, that's yeah, you know. So, like, I just, it, to me, it's not. I don't really see it as makeup, as I see it as cheating, you know, because you can't go backwards. You can't do that, because that's not no longer, um, being creative. That's now just, being lazy, in my opinion. So, and that's the thing about VFX nowadays. Like, VFX are just kind of becoming lazier with these new ideas, these new experiments. It seems like they're bold and different and progressive, but really what they are is being, counterproductive, like very lazy things um, that actually promote laziness, and not, passion or action or anything like that. It's just no, just it makes things just um, more just more obvious and more distracting, and not more ingrained and more involved and more, understanding. Like, those Planet of the Apes movies, I'm telling you, those are probably some of the best VFX that I've seen in years. Like, the way the apes look, just the fur, the way that their faces are, the way that their emotions are. To me, that's a great example of how you use VFX, because not only do I understand everything about those ape characters, but I'm also emotionally involved. And there's no cheat, there's no manipulative things going on, as far as I know, based on the productions. I don't recall them making enhancements and stuff like that. They probably did. I don't know, but as far as I can tell, they didn't. And it 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 creates really captivating performances, and really, uh, really investing characters, you know, and it's not manipulative. It's earned. It feels respected. It respects its audience enough, and it also feels that it has a worthy story to tell. With other things like Indiana Jones and The Irishman and stuff like that, it feels more like, hey, let's try this out, you know, because why not? But then someone's like, well, the story doesn't really need it. And it's like, yeah, but why don't we just try it just to try it, you know? Like, it just feels more like something on the side versus, you know, something that actually deepens and actually feels uh, feels understanding, you know? So, um, but that's just my opinion on it, you know? I know some people are very, very involved, I think, or very interested in the de aging. I think Harrison Ford said recently that he was down with just AIs and stuff like that. So it's like, you know, people are seem to be okay with it. It seems, and that to me is a huge problem. I don't think we need to be dipping our toes in the arts. I'm saying I don't think we need to be dipping our toes with AIs and stuff like that. It's an idea that sounds interesting in concept, but it's the when you start to ask yourself in reality, would I want that sort of thing? I would hope that the answer is no, because it's a human concept and it's a concept that should be humane, you know? And that's what I mean when I talk about de-aging. It's like just be humane. Like let the actors just be who they are right now, you know? Like if you want to add makeup to them to create certain characters, that's fine. This isn't makeup to me. To me, this is just a cheat, and it's a cheat that is going to evolve into something worse, in my opinion. That involves AIs and all that sort of stuff. We're going to be going back to that James Dean conversation very, very soon. It seems like we're going to be bringing up other actors and stuff like that that are going to probably play that James Dean card where we're going to bring them back from the dead and stuff like that. Like that's my fear of what stuff like this could, you know, potentially lead to, and I just hope that that's not the case. Um, but we'll see. So you know, be humane, be human. I mean, just be human. That's what this art form was made out of. It was made from humans, so let it be human. So, and just let the performers be themselves. Don't don't feel that you need to get a version of themselves 20 or 30 years ago. Just be content with what you got and just work with it. So, if you want to make enhancements and stuff like that, that's fine. But don't be trying to fetch a version of themselves that existed many, many years ago. To me, that's just a cheat. And that's just undermining the significance of why they're there in the first place. So, um, so yeah. So that's my thoughts on de aging. I'm not for it. I think that we shouldn't be implementing it. But you guys let me know your thoughts on de aging. Do you guys think it's a good thing? Do you guys think it's a bad thing? Like I said, I think it's going to lead into something worse. I don't know what that is. It could be AIs and stuff like that. But I don't know. There's just it just feels like we're going into a bad direction. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you guys are for it, if you guys are not for it, let me know in the comment section below. And that's gonna be it from me, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry if I seem a little tired. I literally, like I told you, just yesterday was a huge day for me. So I'm finally getting a chance to rest and relax. So hopefully we'll be back on a regular schedule pretty soon here. Um, but until then, guys, we have a few more topic videos down the pipe. I probably will get a review in pretty soon. Hopefully, if I have the energy for it, we'll see. Um, but until then, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.